Hey, Treasure Hunt fans, Joe Pub Big D back here again with a really short video. I kind of just want to get you caught up because I just got an email the other day from Ultraviolet saying that they're officially shutting down on the 31st of July. I just want to comment on that really quick because I thought it was a little unusual. I thought my understanding is this is the digital age. I mean, the studios are trying so hard to force you to go to a digital format. I mean, you go into stores right now and all the stores are shrinking their physical media sections smaller and smaller and smaller. So, it's really weird that they're closing down. My understanding is there's a few issues here and there. They really didn't go into a whole lot of detail in the email they sent me. They just said to the 31st to link my UV account to either Vudu or Movies Anywhere or iTunes to make sure I can still keep the content that I have on there, which I find kind of funny. And this goes back to my argument that I've had before with regards to physical media versus digital media. Digital media is great. The greatest thing about it is it's right there at the touch of your fingertips. You'd be sitting back in your chair. All you gotta do is push a couple buttons on, in my case, my Roku remote, and boom, I can access my movies. That's great. The downside with digital media is it's not guaranteed to always be there, whereas physical media always is. I mean, anytime I want, I can grab my copy of Hunter Killer, I can throw it in the old player, and I can watch it. I have a lot of movies that aren't even available on digital, so I have movies that are only available on VHS, and even made it to DVD, let alone Blu-ray or anything else. So it's really hard. I try to support both, although I'm a bigger fan of physical than I am digital. I try to support both because I want to support movies, but it's really hard when this kind of stuff happens because I start to worry. I don't know if you guys remember, a couple years ago, there was another format there called Flickster. And Flickster, I had all my movies on Flickster. Everyone came in, everything went up on Flickster. And I had a massive database of movies because I buy a lot of movies. All the digital copies I had on there, and I had this massive, I actually did buy a couple too in between. And then Flickster went away. And they transferred them. Yes, most of my movies transferred over to Vudu or transferred to Movies Anywhere. I did lose a couple, though. And that does happen. When people close things down or rights change, they don't necessarily get everything on the turnover. Some movies will fall, through the cracks and you lose them. And I did. I've lost several digital copies over the years because this company closed and assured it over to this one. This company closed and went over to this one. Back and forth, back and forth. So I did lose a few of my digital copies. Now, for me, I'm not too upset about it. I'm a little bummed about it because actually one of them I did buy. This is a long time ago, but I did buy it and I lost it. Fortunately, I only paid like $5 for it, but I did lose it. Majority of the other ones I've lost is usually ones that I had the DVD for it. It was another feature on the DVD to get a digital copy along with it. I'm okay with that as long as I still have the physical copy. It's okay, but it's a little disheartening when they're pushing for this entire digital age where everything's supposed to be digital, and yet this kind of stuff happens. It kind of makes you scratch your head because usually when this stuff starts to close down or people start having issues and things happen of that nature is because the format started to slowly go away. Like, you all remember VHS. You knew when VHS was on its way out when all of a sudden stores started having one rack down to half a rack, down to a third of a rack, down to two. I worked at Suncoast in that day. I remember watching my entire store was all VHS, and over the course of a few years, it went from being on the walls and the racks to just being on the walls, and then being on the walls to a couple of smaller racks. Just kept going down where you had one small little wall section on one little pillar, and that was it. It was game over. So when they start sizing things down and start deleting things and getting rid of things, that it could be on its way out. That's what kind of worried me. It's kind of a weird thing, like why this is going on. Now, I know there's some reasons out there. I believe one of the reasons is Disney rights issues, and I think they're starting their own streaming service, which would really... that's what I'm worried about, honestly. I'm worried about what's going to happen some days. All these studios are going to get like, hey, let's do what CBS and Fox and all those other stations do, like those TV stations. They have their own streaming service for each one of them. I know because I have CBS Access because it's Star Trek. And the CW's got their own thing. They've got all these stations have got their own channels, and I can see the studios doing that too. So if you want to access your digital content on a Disney movie, you're going to have to go to Disney's app. If you want your Fox movies, well, actually Fox would be with Disney, but if you want to go to New Line, you're going to have to go to Warner Brothers. If you want Paramount, you're going to go to the Paramount one. And actually, Paramount's a little bit that way right now. Whenever I get a digital download for Paramount, I have to go to Paramount's website, and they're only available on Paramount's website. I can't even download them, and if somebody knows how to do this, I'd really appreciate it because I have all these digital Paramount movies on my Paramount website, and my Paramount Cloud or whatever it is. and I can't put them on either of my devices. It sucks. It's terrible. I got all these really cool movies. I can't. I can put it on my device. And I could like put it on my phone, but I can't. There's no channel for it to stream it on my television. So it's like I got all these movies I can't even access. So that's the problem. Is there's inconsistencies with the digital age. With physical media, there's one consistency. You buy the disc, you put it in the player, you play it. With digital, there's too many other things going on out there that can make things, A, number one, confusing, but two, it can mean that a lot of movies, especially a movie like, let's say Free Jack. I bought that a couple weeks ago. I found it used at a thrift store, right? That could fall through the cracks. You never find it again. So it's a little scary, but I recommend to anybody that has an ultraviolet account, make sure you link it up to your Vudu, make sure you link it to Movies Anywhere or your iTunes account or something like that, so you don't lose those movies. I mean, you're probably going to lose a few, but at least you don't lose your entire content. It's a little disheartening, but this just goes to show you that physical media can't go anywhere anytime soon. They still haven't worked all the kinks out of digital content, so physical media is here to stay. Now, that's not to say, again, the cool thing about digital media is it's easy to access, really easy to access, especially if you've already got the app on your TV. Point and click, you're good to go. Physical media, it's tough to get up, put it in the player, stuff like that. The flip side is, though, is physical media, you get a lot more special features. You don't really get any special features with digital media. With the physical media, you do. So you do get a lot more special features and a lot more, alternate cuts, stuff like that. I know when I got the Superman movie, was it last year? You got the theatrical version, the TV version, and then the international version, I think it was, or something. You got 3 different versions. Now, if I was to go digital, I'd have to buy all 3, which would cost me a small fortune. And my other problem with digital media is it's not cheap. Like, I'm going to use, for example, Willow. So Willow came out. You guys remember on my video last week, I talked about Willow coming back out, and I was like, whatever, I already got the copy. I got a slipcover with mine. I wasn't too happy with the fact that Disney, Disneyfied the whole cover of it. But so it came out last week, and so I found it in a couple different stores, and everybody's charged $20, and their claim to fame, the big old sticker that's on there says, first time available for a digital copy. Well, whoop-de-doo. Okay, fine. So I paid $20 to get the movie digital copy, which seems like an awful lot for a catalog title. Now we're talking a catalog title that's late 80s. They're charging $20 for it. Okay, fine. So I did a little research and I came home and I went up on the Vudu site, I went up on the Movies Anywhere site, I went up on iTunes and looked up that title on there. Each one of those services is charging $20 for the digital copy. Why? I can go in the store right now and buy that or order it off from Amazon or order from any other website out there, pay $20 for it, and I get the physical copy of the Blu-ray of the movie, and I just get the digital copy. Or I could pay $20 for just the digital copy. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think that this should be a little bit cheaper. Another good example is the Star Wars movies. I looked those up on all 3 services. It's kind of curious. Older titles, especially A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, older titles. They want $20 a pop for them. Now, a lot of that has to do with Disney. Disney, I noticed, doesn't like to reduce their prices very much on anything. I'll give you Christopher Robin, for example. How come every other movie that came out around the same time with Christopher Robin I've been able to find for like $10? Christopher Robin's never fallen on anything 20. It's been out 3 months now. Give me a break. Come on. Disney doesn't like to reduce the price. I mean, was it the Avengers movie, which is almost almost a year from, it's almost been out for a year, is still $24.99 or $29.99. So Disney doesn't like to reduce their prices. So I did check with Fox. They're still $20 as well. I checked in a couple of titles too, and they're all really expensive. So that's why I don't think that we're ready to completely go over to the digital age, because they can't figure it out. They absolutely can't figure it out. Nobody in their right mind is going to be paying $20 for something there when they can go in the store and buy the same thing plus get a physical copy at it and the digital copy for $20. It just doesn't make any sense. So I think that's where that's where it kind of gets a little bit gray area. But I know I'm a little bit off topic. I do apologize for that. I just want to make sure people knew. I guess I want to understand where my thoughts are on this subject. It's a tough subject because I know eventually someday everything's going to go to digital. I'm not stupid. I see how CDs are going now. It's all going to go to digital someday. So it's kind of one of those glass, thank God for thrift stores, because we'll be able to find movies for a really long time in thrift stores after the studios start putting them out. But there'll be no new content anymore, which will be a bummer. I love physical movies. I love holding the movie in my hand and being like, yeah, and steelbook stuff like that. I really, it's part of collecting. It's really hard to say you have a collection of digital movies. It's like, okay, and it's not impressive. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything. So, but that's it. What's your thoughts on that? I'd really like to know. Leave me some comments down below what you think about the ultraviolet going away and physical media versus digital media. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know. Please click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos by me. Click that little bell if you want to get notified. Thank you guys all for watching my rant video. I don't do very often of these, and it's not really necessarily a rant. It's kind of just inform you guys, hey, if you have ultraviolet, you need to make sure you link that to some other account, because as of July 31st, you won't be able to access it anymore. So thank you guys all for watching the video. Everybody take care. Always keep hunting, because you never know what you're going to find. And as always, live long and prosper.